basically what's going to happen now is that the last segment, it's kind of, Zero, Bruh was your champion throughout today, but you're going to be handing him off into the very capable hands of SVB for the next, I suppose, 3 months of coaching, where we'll try and track your progress as you improve. Oh, you changed your name back to Super Singla.
I will try to handle your champion well.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna turn out. I believe he's gonna turn out great. The potential that within him is gonna probably be unleashed, and he's gonna pop off. The problem is, ranked is still ranked.
Yes, true.
It's not the best.
One day, I look forward to the day that Super Singla finds you in ranked and then wins a ranked game against you. I'm gonna look forward to that day.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe that's not gonna happen.
You're not. We want to make him good, but not that good. For everybody who is just joining us in now, Zero was the guest from the very start. He competed, beat Joomla, who is also here, picked Super as his champion, and then Super won the Elo Hell Pug. So, Zero, take it away.
I'm Zero, or you can call me Zeroshis also. I've been playing Overwatch since it came out, but I started taking it seriously last year, grinding nonstop, scrimming. Once I realized that I was good enough to possibly have the potential to become a pro, and that's when I started taking it serious. So I've been practicing nonstop for a year, and currently I'm in a team called Last Hope, and they're in Contenders Trials. Hopefully I'm trying to get signed for Overwatch League next season. We'll see how it goes.
So now that you've crowned Super as champion, we're going to be handing him off to SVB. So SVB will be taking over Super's coaching for the next little bit. SVB, do you want to introduce yourself in case there's anybody in chat who don't know you are? What do you do? Who are you?
Yeah, so I'm SVB. I'm a YouTube and Twitch content creator. I mostly make educational content. I was a former Top 100 player, but that was about 84 years ago. That was Titanic meme level age ago. Yeah, now I mostly just make content, mostly for people who are plat and gold. So I understand Super's plights well, and hopefully I can help him navigate the minefield that is ladder.
Now, Zero, because this show is new and we haven't settled things out yet. This is the first time that we're ever doing this Adopt a Bronze segment. Now, there's the difference between kind of what we're going to do on this segment, which we're kind of not 100% sure on, and then what we're going to do in terms of coaching the person on an ongoing basis.
I think I have half an hour max.
Okay, half an hour. So what I think we'll do then to end it off is that what we were planning to do for what I want to do for the Adopt a Bronze segment on this show is that we take 30 minutes or so and then kind of go through either using the replay code from today's match or anything like that, and we could actually go through and give you some coaching there. Now, Zero, you're more than welcome to join for that. I know that you've been around for 3 hours now, so if you've got to do other things or going to go grab some food, I understand. But your SVB and I will kind of be talking over kind of Super for 20-30 minutes about how he did today. All right, SVB. Well, now the floor is ours. So you were watching the stream a bit. Where do you want to start with helping Super get better at Overwatch and start that climb?
With any student, the first thing I would ask is just try to get a little bit more insight into them as a person, their mentality, and what their expectations and goals are. So my first question to Super would be, what do you basically want from Overwatch? Do you want to be a GM and do you want to play in these scrims for real? Do you want to go pro, or do you just want to play on the weekends and have fun and climb a little bit and maybe get to diamond or maybe get to master? What are your hopes and expectations for Overwatch?
I don't think I want to go pro, but I really do want to be good at the game, maybe diamond plus, something like that, and play for fun. So yeah, GM would be a goal, I guess, but that would take a lot of time. And I'm not sure I have that time, but it would be a goal, I guess.
And how much would you say you play Overwatch in a week?
Every week's different because I have things going on. So weekends I do play almost every day weekends for 1 or 2 hours around that, and then during the weekdays, if I get time, I do squeeze in some games, but other than that, not that much.
Because obviously, and Jane can chime in as well, but to climb with any degree of consistency and seriousness, you need to play with a degree of consistency and seriousness. So, you do need to, if you want to climb significantly, you basically need to put in the hours, because ladder, unlike this GM game where, you were kind of thrown in the deep end and you use your instincts to navigate it really well, ladder is a grind. It's just about hours of going into the game and letting your win rate basically come through over the course of several hundred games. So if you do want to climb to master, And again, the goals are entirely yours. This is completely your experience. It's up to you what you want at the end of it. If you want to climb the Masters, then you will have to put in quite a lot of game time. And
Yeah.
Jane, I don't know if you agree.
Yeah,
or not.
for sure. No, it's like one of the things that ranked is a grind. People used to say like 60% win rate is great. It's good to aim for, because one of the things that we have, and we were even talking about it earlier on in the stream, is that about a third of your games are going to be won no matter what you do. Your team is better. A third of the games are going to go the other way. No matter what you do, it's a loss, and you really do have control over about a third of those games. Now, even if you are kind of maintaining that 2/3 win rate, 60, 65%, somewhere in there, you still only really climb at a rate of about 20, 25 SR per hour. So, even if you are underranked, just climbing up to the rank that you deserve at takes a good number of hours. And on top of that, there is the consistency as well, right? You want to play, it's, in my opinion at least, it's better to play 2 to 4 hours a day, more often, rather than playing kind of in these gigantic 8, 10, 12-hour binge sessions, because you learn more. Sleep is an important part of the learning process, reflecting on, how your game matches went, being able to be healthier, more focused for those times that you are playing. So, consistency is definitely a key to climbing and just putting time in.
Yeah, absolutely. Super, how do you kind of feel about what we've said there?
Yeah, even climbing. I was bronze when I first started.
Yeah.
Climbing to gold. I mean, even though it didn't take the most time, it was a grind. It took a lot of time.
And was Overwatch your first FPS?
Not my first FPS, but the first FPS I've taken very seriously and played very much.
And why'd you decide to take it seriously? Like, are you with friends, or what was the decision to take it seriously?
A lot of my friends play it, and I also find the game very fun. Like, there's a lot of nuances to the game, which I don't find in other FPSs, which is cool.
And I wasn't privy to the full hero. I only saw the games with Mora and Zarya. What is your hero pool, and what are you kind of hoping to climb on, particularly?
At first, I used to climb on off-tank a lot, but I'm putting a lot of time into my support, and I play all the flex supports, so Bap, Mora, Ana, Zen. And off-tank-wise, I play Hog, Zarya, and Sigma.
Yeah, I would say support is probably the hardest role to climb on. I don't know how you feel, Jane, but I think with the nature of support...
Are you just being nice to me? Did you see what happened to me this weekend?
I mean, I did happen to catch the thing. It wasn't a direct attempt to vindicate your performance.
SVB's covering my ass. I love it. I mean, yes, tank felt really impactful. DPS felt really impactful. In order to climb on support, I've been thinking, and just to fill chat in, I went 0-5 in my support placements. I played for the first time. I played ranked for the first time in like 8 months. Went 0-5 in placements, and then I've been climbing, but excruciatingly slowly. And yeah, so from what I've learned, just kind of jumping back into ranked on support, is that, just kind of providing the general value of staying alive and being a mobile health pack really isn't enough to win games. If I'm really trying to consistently carry, I am looking for kind of being more of a playmaker, because I really do have to play things. The style of play that you were playing in a Grandmaster lobby, for example, you can do that because the team knows how to actually use those resources you're giving them in order to win games. It's not your job to make a playmaker. Whereas in ranked, in order to climb, even if you are on support, you have to be the difference maker. And it's a lot harder to do that in the current meta. In previous metas, for example, where nano was game changing, or anti-nades were game changing, or sound barriers were game changing, like the support players really did have a massive impact just from the use of their ultimates. But now, when we're using a lot of like tempo ultimates, as the kind of the heroes that are primarily in play, support's impact does have to be outside of just ultimate usage. Your ultimate charge rate, of course, matters, but it's still very possible to climb and to carry on support. But of the 3 roles right now, I would agree that support is the hardest.
Yeah, and I think what was impressive about the games that I saw with you playing with GM Super is that you were able to keep up with them. But the problem is that ranked is not like that. You're not going to have GMs telling you exactly what to do, when to do. I mean, the good thing is, like I said, you were able to keep up, and I think that's the hardest thing to teach someone, is awareness and ability to respond to the audio information that you hear. Because I think most people tunnel on the visual information that they see in the game, i.e. what's physically in front of them. But listening to the call out of a teammate who's like, so-and-so is on my back, and turning and responding, is in my experience amongst plat and gold players the most rare quality. So what's great is that you displayed an ability to do that. The problem is that you're now going to have to be the master of your own fate, basically, when you go into ranked, there's not going to be a GM telling you what to do. You have to be the one telling other people what to do.
Exactly.
And you have to be the one guiding them.
Yes, that's
I mean,
like...
I do.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I
Super.
do calm a lot in ranked, but sometimes I do get a little toxic because I get frustrated, I guess, and yeah, if that doesn't come out that good.
Well, that's definitely...
Well,
I mean, we don't have to coach you on more than, or on only gameplay. You know, if mentality going into ranked is something that you need to work on, and you would like or appreciate input from SVB, then that's certainly... You know, mentality, it's not just in game. It's also how healthy you are physically, like eating, sleeping, working out, your mental approach. You know, having a healthy approach to the game. That's all important.
I think mentality is probably the most important thing. I mean, I would say that, of course, because I got no mechanics, but I think that just your mentality is everything. It's like your approach to the game. It's how you respond to a loss. It's how you respond to your own inadequacy compared to where you think you should be, right? These are... Someone with a good mentality can persevere through anything. Someone with a bad mentality will make every step of the way much more difficult for themselves. So I think that if we can work out this mentality of yours and figure out why you're toxic, what makes you get frustrated, what makes you get angry, and then kind of help you control that, that will make you a better player, but better person to kind of deal with any obstacle. Not to sound too cliche or cheesy, but any obstacle in your life, if you can figure out what your approach is that's flawed, basically, to growth. Because that's what all we're trying to do here is allow you to grow. At the end of the day, the coaching process is simply giving you the tools to help yourself in the future. So if we can do that, that would be, I think, the biggest gain for you.
Yeah, definitely.
What are you... Sorry, go ahead, SVB.
No, you go ahead, Jane. You have
I was just, Super, what are you looking forward, or what are you wanting to get out of this experience?
I mean, definitely to have fun and climb. I just want to be at a level where I'm not average, but definitely good. I just want to be at that level.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I had a question for Super, because I think this will really help me, and I think it'll help Super figure out the kind of player they are. What was your biggest takeaway from the games you just played, Super? Like, what did you really learn after those games? What did you feel?
Positioning, a lot of positioning. I learned a lot of positioning. Like, for example, on first point Rialto, I would have never have thought to position there where they told me to. So that's really good thing I learned, I guess.
And how do you feel about your own performance after having played with those GMs? Like, what do you make of your own play? Do you think you're ready to get there? Or do you think, did it show you actually there's a load of things I'm not doing that these guys are doing? What was your response?
My mechanics are probably not the worst thing of my game. Those could definitely be improved on. Like on Ana, I was very nervous in the beginning, so I was missing a lot of shots. But yeah, that's one thing I need to improve on.
And when you were in that game, obviously you were on a team that had extremely intense shot calling. Not all teams are like that, but it certainly gets more and more common the higher you go. How was it overwhelming to hear that level of calling, or did you kind of get more used to it?
The very beginning was very overwhelming. Like I was I have to pay attention so closely for the nano call. It was very overwhelming in the beginning, but at the end it got good. Like I was able to understand everything and do it.
Yeah, it's kind of like listening to a radio at first. It's just a whole bunch of noise and chaos, and then eventually once you your brain has sorted out which voice is which character and what people are asking for, it gets a lot easier. Do you comm much when you're playing solo queue in ranked at all? Like, are you a shot caller or communicator?
Yeah, I shot call a lot.
Yeah, a lot. Okay, well that's really good.
Yeah, that's actually a really strong trait, I think. I think particularly in ladder, as you said, Jane, now, where it's like a lot of the differences that are made are through coordination and execution of things together. I think being able to control your team, it will be a huge asset if you can learn to kind of do it consistently and effectively.
It does require a lot of work. I sometimes get tired and lazy to do it, but
don't we all? Yeah, I mean, right now.
I mean, sometimes those plats suck. What can you say?
Yeah, and I'm trying to do the same. Like, I'm kind of working on my own support play. Right, I'm not calming a lot. Not only because I'm just focused on my own play and asking questions, kind of like critically critiquing myself while I'm playing. But if I were actually going to try and just get wins, it's not really technically like the Moira play or the Lucio play or the Mercy play, but you really can. Communications, a coordinated team will beat a team of 6 individuals absolutely every single day. So, just hearing some of the things that those teams today were calling in ranked, that could really help get W's in ranked as well, if you're the one who kind of takes that lead. And if you're already comfortable doing that, all the better.
Yeah, actually, I would like I was curious to know as well, where do you rate your game knowledge, Super? Because you know, you said your mechanics were probably, according to your own admission, the worst part of your gameplay. But how do you rate your game knowledge? Do you think it's plat? Do you think it's above plat? Do you think?
It's probably
What
the
do you
best
think?
part of my game. Like I know what to do. It's executing is the hard part, you know.
Yeah,
Mechanically executing that. So yeah.
for sure.
Like if I know they have EMP and I want to reactively bubble it to save my HP, I won't execute it because I won't mechanically react it quick enough. Something like that.
Yeah, I did feel like you were particularly, I think, in the game on King's Row, you were actually even at points making initiative on yourself, where you were like, I'll do this, I'll call this, I'll hide and do that. That's great to hear. And I think, again, if you can take that level of confidence from a GM lobby and then bring it to your plat lobby, that will make a big difference. Because I think particularly in plat, most of the time, and gold and those kind of what I call the metal ranks, because you know, bronze,
Yeah.
silver, gold, platinum, they're all metals. They they're most often basically defined by a lack of coordination and a lack of a game plan. And if you can bring a game plan to those games, even if it's a suboptimal game plan, even if it's not what a GM scrim team would do, I think if you can bring some level of like, okay, guys, let's do this now. I'm going to do this, you do that. I think that would be a huge asset to your games.
Totally. Also, it's a habit. I adjust myself because I play Zenyatta, and like his ult is very crucial and sometimes, so I have to like position myself accordingly to their ult as well. That's one habit I have, which is good, I guess.
And one thing I want to say actually is, and this is for anyone watching who does want to climb, I think if you really want to climb consistently, it might be worthwhile for you to, at least for a little bit of time, focus on like a narrow pool of heroes, like maybe 3 maximum. Because I think if you try to climb on off tank and support at the same time, you're going to find you're making small gains on both, and then sometimes like, you know, 2 steps forwards, 1 step back kind of thing. Whereas I think there is a real benefit to grinding like a certain set of heroes or a certain hero and just being like every day, every day, every day, this thing, this thing, this thing, that thing, that thing, that thing. Because that is when I think you really see rapid and vast improvement. Jane, I don't know how you feel about that one.
Sorry, I was reading chat, honestly. Oh, you were saying the playing at 2 heroes at the 2 at the same time. I mean, yeah, especially with Singla or Super saying that he only has a limited number of hours during the week, right? You know, especially if you're limited on playtime and don't have the opportunity to learn multiple heroes. Definitely focusing on one, especially one that you think you can have the most impact on, it's just gonna straight up see the most results. You know, one of the things that I recommend to people who do have a lower amount of time to play is that really only play another character, not in order to climb, but if you are struggling against a character, like if you're a Zenyatta, for example, and you're really struggling like against Genji, in order to get into the mind of a Genji, I usually recommend that person play Genji. So it gives them the perspective firsthand about what are the strengths and the weaknesses of a Genji. What is Genji looking to kill a Zenyatta? But other than that, like stick to your main hero and put a lot of hours into it, as many as you can.
Do you recommend playing Moira to climb?
That's an SVB question. I've only started playing ranked again this past weekend. So SVB, is Moira a climbing hero right now?
She can be, depending on how you play her. Sometimes a good wraith into the backline will get you kills, but
see, chat, it's not just me.
I'm not gonna publicly go tell you to all go DPS Moira.
Do it. Join me in the backline. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean that's primarily, again, that's kind of there is a very especially as you get higher and higher and higher. There's going to be a playstyle that works in organized play and ranked, works in organized play and scrim, and a playstyle that works in ranked as a hard carry. Okay, like backline soul coalescences and shit like that, ranked. You never did one of those in scrims or organized play because you shouldn't and you didn't have to, right? But sometimes if you're in ranked, you know, we were going to talk about this earlier, right? This time it's easy to play up to an SR, but you know, not, and we talked about support probably being the role that has the least carry potential, but it's not just least carry potential. Once you start getting up towards Grandmaster, I remember trying to hit Grandmaster on support for the very first time, and I would always get so close. I was floating in 39 forever, and then I would get a game where I had like the rest of my team was like 35, 36, a diamond here or there. And it's like, I'm 400, 300, 400 SR higher than everybody else, and I'm playing fucking Mercy. Like, you know, not only do you have to kind of like play up to those ranks, like, you're going to have to carry people who are 400, 500 SR below you in order to get that rank. So it's like, you don't get Grandmaster once you can play with Grandmasters. You get Grandmaster when you can carry Masters against Grandmasters on your roll. So, yeah, I mean, it's ranked. It's challenging. It's very challenging.
Yeah, I think those are two really important points you made there. I think the first one about, to get to, for example, if you want to get from plat to diamond, it's not good enough to just be like at the level of like, I could maybe scrape it in diamond. I could like not lose in a diamond lobby. No, you have to be good enough that when you get put in a plat lobby, you stick out. You stick out like a sore thumb. You make the difference 9 out of 10 games or whatever. So again, to climb from where you are in plat to get to, diamond and master, you will have to really, be high master. If you want to get to master, you need to be like ready to hack it in a high master lobby kind of thing. And what's great is that you hacked it in a GM lobby, so there's some element of that already. I think the other part that you mentioned was something I tuned in earlier as well when you guys were playing with Zero and Joomla in the lobbies, and they spoke about, I think it was when you're doing the Guess My SR and you were watching the Widowmaker players.
Oh yeah,
and they were like, well, this Widowmaker is great. Yeah, she can shoot shots.
She's great when not being pressured, right? Yeah.
Exactly, but she doesn't know when to go clutch. She doesn't know when to go carry. And I think that's, again, alongside mentality. I think these soft skills are often something people neglect. Like people often, they fixate on the mechanical element. They're always like, oh, well, I know my aim isn't good. And I know like I don't know how to do the ball double boop tech. But in reality, sometimes knowing when to make a risky play, knowing when to wraith into the backline, knowing when to flank Izana and try to drop an anti-nade into 6 people is actually as important to carrying and climbing as learning to land quick scopes.
I think I have to leave right now.
Yeah. I'm sure we've melted your brain as well. So
yeah, that's like way more than you ever.
Well,
asked
the
for.
VOD will be up for you to review if you missed anything. But yeah, and then we'll get organized in a day or two to start setting things up going into the future. But super, thanks so much for joining the stream today, and honestly, congratulations on being the stream's first champion. So welcome.
Thank you, Jane. It was a great pleasure.
That was super impressive, man. Super impressive.
And you have a great evening.
I look forward to talking to you again.
You too, Jane. Have a good day.
Bye, Super.
Bye.
Yeah, catch you later, man.